Hi, everybody. It's Erin Martin, and we are going to be doing a live with Alan Fu. He's all the way in Australia, and it's actually morning time for him tomorrow. So join in. I'm going to see if we can get him in. Let's see. All right. Here he comes, guys.
What's up?
Alan!
How are we?
Good, good. Good morning.
I'm doing very well. How are you, Erin?
I'm doing really good. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great. I really wanted to start off with I know we want to talk about our 9 to 5s and stuff like that or how we ditched those, but
Mm-hmm.
I do want to start for some of my followers. They're really interested in talking about the vitamin issue. And I
Mm-hmm.
really thought that when we talked and we met first, that we really had this synergy about that. And so people think I'm crazy when I say you need to throw away all your vitamins. And I
Mm.
explain why that is, but I'd love to hear your take on that.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar. Now, with me, I'm a little bit different in terms of throw away all your vitamins. Like, I'm still very passionate about people taking supplements, simply because I know we don't get enough nutrients through food. But with
True.
that being said, a lot of the vitamins that we buy on the shelf is garbage. And so when you're buying all this crap on the shelf and you're taking it thinking you're getting all this good stuff, but you're actually not, you're just buying into marketing. And when you're buying into marketing, it's not really scientific. And if it's not, and if it's not really scientific, then yeah, it causes a lot of different headaches for a lot of people because a lot of people are buying stuff out there thinking, hey, you know what? I can go out there, I can buy a supplement on the shelf, and they treat that as the solution to all of their problems. And a big problem with the industry, I think both of us, we vibed really well on this, is both in America, both in Australia, the regulation for supplementation is pretty lax. It's pretty lax, and because of that, it causes a lot of issues, which is a lot of people don't really understand. And the problem with our sort of society, both where you are, both where I am, is not many people are well educated enough to understand what they need to be taking, let alone how to choose the right products as well for them. So, I mean, I kind of agree and I don't kind of agree. And it's more so like, I agree. If you're taking poor quality stuff, get rid of it. It's probably not going to help you in the long term. So that's why it's very important to understand not just if you are going to take vitamins, you're going to take supplements, not just vitamins, but your minerals, your antioxidants. For example, right now in America, CBD oil is quite hot as well. We can technically consider that a supplement. But,
Hmm.
when you have all of this sort of stuff, it's what quality do you take them at? It's what quality. That I think that's the most important because there's so much stuff on the market. We literally have bargain pharmacies here or bargain drugstores or chemists. I'm trying to find the American terms as I'm talking. Um, we have these bargain stores that sell all these vitamins and supplements at massive discount. It's kind of like massive 70% off sale, massive 80% off sale, buy one, get two free. I've literally seen buy one, get two free. And it's like, if you think about it, how can you discount a real quality product so much? And
Right.
I know yeah, right. And I know you have your own line of, CBD oils and you have your own line of products as well in America. If you think about the whole manufacturing process, you can't really discount something that's manufactured well to a point where you're doing like 90% off. You literally cannot do that. It's just impossible. So for most
Right.
people out there, taking supplements, I would recommend always number one is look after your diet and your water intake. These two things you cannot go past. Diet and water intake is the key. Then you look after your exercise. Are you exercising well? Are you exercising daily? And then finally, okay, let's take a look at supplementation. What do we need to add in that you're missing? And on top of that, what quality of supplement are we going to add in? Are we going to add in something off the shelf, which we don't know if it's good or not? And for most of you guys watching this, you really cannot get the best stuff on the shelf because the shelf is for general population. And general
Right.
population stuff is designed for general population. If you want the quality stuff, you generally have to buy it direct from a manufacturer, direct from someone like yourself who creates their own products, or direct from a distributor of a major company. Most good quality products on the market nowadays, you can't buy off the shelf. It has to come directly from a manufacturer or through a distributor. That's just from personal experience. That's what I've seen in the research I've done here in Australia. I've seen in the research over in America as well. And I think we have very similar systems in that in kind of that regards over there. So I hope that helps the viewers kind of clarify a little bit about the supplement / vitamin type deal. I don't necessarily say, hey, throw out all your vitamins, but I will say throw out all your crap vitamins, if that makes sense.
Yes, exactly. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I mean. And so when I look at something, if someone's taking a supplement, the first thing I want to know is if it's plant-based, because we're finding that there's about 20,000 hospital visits a year of older adults overdosing on vitamins. And the reason for that is that your body can't read these synthetic vitamins. And I think that's the huge issue. Like, you're exactly right that we're not getting those vitamins and those minerals from our food or our water. Unfortunately, we're not getting enough unless you're eating a lot of superfoods. But you can even use superfoods as the supplements, right?
That's right. And that's what people are doing nowadays. In Australia, we have very hot products, superfood greens, powders, and all of that sort of stuff. But there's still a lot of
confusing too,
yeah, it is. It is so confusing. I mean, look at those super green powders. I mean, yeah, it's something is always going to be better than nothing. That's for sure.
Right.
And when you're eating food as well, and you're looking at going out there trying to eat food, a lot of people just can't afford it, because if we're trying to buy organic all the time, like a bunch of organic carrots is going to cost you like $10 or $10. And people are like, oh my God, I'll buy a bunch of carrots and that's it. I've got no more budget left for the week. And it's like, it's quite expensive to eat organic all the time. And it's quite inconvenient as well if you're trying to eat, in Australia, our recommendations and our recommended servings are 5 servings of veggies and 2 servings of fruit. And through my research with all the people that I've done presentations in front of, I've spoken to over thousands of people. Every single time I ask, there is less than one hand in the audience that eats 5 servings of veggies and 2 servings of fruit daily. There's always less than one hand, no matter how big that crowd is. And that just shocks me. So, if that's the basic level of recommendation we should be eating, and no one's doing it, you wonder why people are getting so sick nowadays. You wonder why, as we age, we're getting more and more health problems. We're just not feeding the body anymore.
No, and the systems aren't set up, like you said, to have access to that, to have money for that. And it's really about access and the money, like you said, if
Absolutely.
you can't afford to do it. And so that's what I say is, like, if I know some people don't want to quit eating meat or cheese, but that's really expensive. So if you can you don't have to cut it all out, but you could reduce it so then you can afford to buy organic vegetables and fruits. And that's really important. And I think people also shy away from fruits because it's sugar. And
Well, there's nothing wrong with sugar,
I think that's not really true. It's good sugar. Like, your body needs good sugar. It's the bad sugar that's in everything.
Absolutely. So you've got all of the, I want to say synthetic sugars. I'll say the highly processed sugars, and that's what we're eating in majority of our packaged foods. Guys, in fruits and a lot of different sort of organic or natural things, the sugar that we're actually getting is fructose, which is the fruit sugar. And now fructose is very low GI. It's very good for blood sugar, actually. It actually keeps your blood sugar nice and balanced throughout the day. And it's not like the other stuff you get out there in the glucose. You don't get all types of highly processed sugars, which spike your blood like that, which causes a lot of problems like diabetes, causes the high blood pressures, causes high cortisol levels, all of that sort of stuff. So don't be too afraid of eating fruit. Obviously, if you want to watch out for it, you still can, especially if you're a diabetic or something like that. You can watch out for it, but don't shy away from eating fruit. Fruit is great. Vegetables are great. That's what we're supposed to be eating. And when it comes down to meats, we know now that eating excessive red meat increases your risk of getting, pancreatic cancer, or increases your risk of getting, all sorts of different types of cancers. We know that eating way too much of these processed foods are going to increase our risk of cancers, increase our risk of diseases. So it's kind of like, continue eating what you're eating, but shift it a little bit. You want to change it a little bit. If you're eating red meat 5 times a week, why not? Let's drop it down to twice a week, or maybe drop it down to once a week, and change the portion sizes. Make it nice and simple. I mean, just because you love that food doesn't mean it's good for you, right? Just because you love it doesn't mean it's good for you.
And also, if you love something, don't deprive yourself of that, because another key to life, and I think we will get into this when we talk about leaving the 9 to 5, the key is balance. It's
Yeah,
hugely
happiness,
balanced. So
balance. Yeah,
if you really love something specifically that you're eating that's horrible for you, then maybe just have it once a month or once a week. But you don't have to go all the way over to the other end of the spectrum, but you can
yeah.
shift. And the shifts that happen and they stay consistent are the ones that are done incrementally. I think people
Mm,
do go cold turkey on stuff and they're successful, but I think for
mm.
most people it needs to be something they can have in their daily routine that's
Yeah,
easy to
absolutely.
incorporate.
Absolutely. No, I
Yeah.
completely agree. I mean, like, from what I've noticed with the majority of my clients in the past or the people that I've spoken to is, if you make such a quick shift like that in your life, majority of us, hey, yeah, mental strength, discipline, great. We can get through it. Maybe 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks. You hit the 12-week mark and then most people start to revert because that change has come too suddenly. It's massive. It's too big of a shift. The way I like to see it is you want to make small changes in like 28-day, 56-day blocks, in monthly or bi-month or two, what's the word for that? Every 2 months or so, you want to be making those little shifts in your life. And that will help you progress forwards in a slow and steady way. Sometimes, a lot of people say, oh, slow and steady doesn't win the race. I think in terms of changing your lifestyle, it is quite important. Unless, of course, there is a big emergency, whereas you're like
Sure.
500 pounds overweight or something, and if that's
Yes,
that's
you
the
need
case,
to
you got
like
to
stop eating now.
yeah, you got to do something
Yeah.
drastic now, right? But unless that's the case, the majority of us were okay. Australia's a pretty fat country. America's a pretty fat country. We both can agree on that. And
Yes.
we're not so fat that all of us needs that, straight away that intervention where we go cut everything, stop now. But everyone has the opportunity to, hey, drink an extra glass of water today. Hey, maybe I'll reduce one portion of red meat this week. Hey, sorry, maybe I might add some extra veggies in my lunch today. Or hey, I might take my multivitamin, minerals, and antioxidants today. Just something small, one step at a time, will really, really help someone develop the habit of a healthy lifestyle holistically. And I think that's the key word that we were looking at back when I was sitting there with you in LA is, holistic is the word because it encompasses everything. Whereas we realize that most of our medical system, both in America and here, everything is very like specific, very targeted. It's like if you have a disease, okay, bang, we'll give you this drug for that specific thing in the disease. They don't look at the nutrition. No, they don't. They don't really care about it. They don't look at exercise. They don't really care about it. They don't look at water. They don't really care about it. They just care if this drug is going to act on this pathway in the body, which is going to stop you from having some sort of problem with the disease. But then when that happens, it stops that pathway and it causes another problem somewhere else. And I think we came to that
Yes.
conclusion as well. One medication leads to a second for that medication. You take a medication for your medication. And then at the end of the day, your liver's going to be damaged, your kidneys are going to be damaged, and you're just going to have a crap life because it's like, I need to take more
Yeah.
medication for the medication that they put me on because I didn't need medication. It's like it's a whole cycle of
Yeah.
medication.
The
And that's,
prescriptions have their own prescriptions, and
yeah, absolutely.
they call this like the avalanche of prescription drugs, which is
Yeah.
why we see at the end of life, or not even at the end of life, but at the age of 65, the
Mm.
average American is on 15 or more prescription drugs per year.
Wow. I did
That
not
is
know
the
that.
average in America.
Holy
That's
crap.
insane. And that's
Wow.
what we're seeing. And 15 is the average. So I've had clients that are on 20, 22 medications at one time. What do you think would happen if we just like slowly take them off all of that and then give them a great diet and great water? Their lives would
Wow.
be changed. It's not a
Mm.
regenerative model for health. It's
No, no, no.
degenerative. And that's the
Mm.
huge problem.
Oh man, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, like when you look at it this way, I mean, we should be working with our medical professionals as people that are not specifically in medicine. We should be working with them to try and help them minimize drugs. And I've been speaking to a lot
Yes.
of doctors over in England, and that's what they're trying to implement in England right now. They have prescriptions and descriptions, if that even not descriptions, de-prescriptions. So
Ooh, I
they
like
actually
that.
do, yeah. So they do like every 6 months, they do a review of the medication of their patients and they wind them off or they wean them off a lot of different drugs. And so I've been speaking to a few pretty cool doctors over there that are now starting to implement nutritional protocols as well as taking them off specific drugs to help them with their life. And I think that's the direction that healthcare really needs to go down is a holistic pathway where you have a lot of different professionals working together for one patient because doctors nowadays is just in and out. You come in, You go out, and I was speaking to a friend of mine the other day. He's a 3-time cancer survivor, and he's also a doctor. He's a medical student, and he's been, we're talking about how doctors treat their patients here in Australia. Literally, you go in for 5 minutes, they don't even ask you questions. They give you this based on what you've told them in your old file, and they're out the door. There's no real treatment. There's no real getting to know the patient. There's no real, sort of trying to find a solution for them. And I think that's a huge problem. And so that's why it gives us, it gives us space to move around. It gives us space to go and help our clients even better. And that's why a lot of people are losing trust in the medical industry. Yeah, it's quite hardcore. It's quite hardcore.
Yeah, definitely. Well, thank you so much for that. That's really helpful for my listeners. And I know that that's incredible information for them that they can really utilize and really create this as part of their daily routine and just get them to think. I mean, that's the biggest part. So,
Absolutely.
and I do want to, I do want to switch gears and just talk about, we were talking about balance, and we were talking about, I had talked about in some of our posts that we had left our 9-to-5s. And for me, it was a huge jump. It was a huge leap of faith. And I just wanted to it's really changing, especially with millennials. So our age group, and also older people are doing the same thing. So kind of give us a little bit of your story of deciding to do that and how that happened for you.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, the 9-to-5 was never really for me. That was something that I wasn't so passionate about. When I was a bit younger, I was actually really fortunate. My parents got me a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So I don't know if you've read that book before. It was one of the first finance education books that I got. And so for all the listeners watching this, if you are looking at ways to shift that paradigm shift from employee to entrepreneur, that book was one of the first books that catalyzed my growth. So when I was 12, my parents got me that book instead of Harry Potter. And so I was like, why are all these other kids getting Harry Potter and I got Rich Dad, Poor Dad? It's like, oh, Rich Dad, Poor Dad doesn't even sound interesting. But I'm very grateful for that, because that really helped me shift that mindset that I had. And so throughout reading that book, I realized one thing. It was like, the 9-to-5, if I were to extrapolate that for the next 40 years of my life and really stretch it out and look at it from a third-person perspective, I'll go, you know what? I'm going to work 40 years for someone else who controls my value. And I get 4 weeks a year off to go on traveling and do whatever I want to do. And hey, if my mom's dying in hospital, I might not even be able to get leave approved to go and see my mom in hospital. If I'm overseas and they send me on like a long distance thing and my family needs me, I can't help them. If I have kids and I have a wife, how much time will I ever get to spend with them? And I have to leave home every morning at 7 a.m. in the morning to fight the crappy traffic here in Sydney so I can get to work, fight the crappy traffic on the way back home so I get home at 7 o'clock. So really, it's not a 9-to-5 anymore. It's a 7 a.m. to a 7 p.m. sometimes. And I was like, do I want to do that for the 40 years of my life and only get paid $80,000 a year? That's kind of like the average salary in Australia. And I was like, is that really what my life is worth? And if you do the maths, $80,000 times 40 years, you get that number. That's the maximum amount of income you can make, which is $3.2 million, right? And after tax, I just lost a third of that. No, it's not. I've lost a third of it to the government because of tax.
Right.
I have about $2 million left after 40 years of working my life. And I'm just like sitting there going, $2 million, the price of a property here in Sydney. Let's just say I have a house that's on sale opposite to mine at the moment. It's a 6-bedroom house, double garage with a pool. All right, it's not a bad house, but it's $1.9 million. So literally, I'm sitting here, if I worked 40 years, I'd be just able to pay off that house. And I have $100,000 left to eat good food, travel, do whatever I need. No way. I was like, the numbers do not add up. It doesn't work. And I was like, the only way for me to enjoy life, not just enjoy money, but freedom, is through entrepreneurship. And I think a lot of people are working for the wrong reasons. They're working for money. And money doesn't bring fulfillment. And you know that. Speak to a lot of the senior managers at your workplace, the people that are on $100,000 a year, the people that are on $150,000 a year. How many of them are actually fulfilled? How many of them are actually happy with what they are doing and they feel like they're making some massive impact on the world? A large majority of them aren't. And so I think we're working for the wrong reasons nowadays. Most of us are working for money because it looks cool to have that Gucci belt or that LV bag. You know, it looks cool to have a Prada, to have a pair of Prada shoes, or, you know, to have something like that. But we're working for the wrong reasons because we're trying to impress the wrong people. And most of the time we're looking to impress others when we forget to impress ourselves. And I think that's where the big problem is with a lot of people. And so when I saw that and I saw how depressed a lot of my working life friends were, you know, when I was going through high school, I was a very mature kid for my age. I had a lot of friends who are a little bit older than me. And so when I was looking at them and asking them about how they enjoyed their jobs, every one of them were depressed. They'd been working for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years. They were on $80,000, $100,000 a year Australian salaries. They were depressed. They just didn't enjoy life. And I was like, if that's their life and I'm going to walk down that same pathway, it's going to suck. And I studied nutrition at university. I was going to go into medicine, or I was going to stay as a nutritionist. A nutritionist salary here in Sydney is 60 grand a year. It's nothing. I was like, I want to retire my parents, who are first generation immigrants coming from China. You know, they gave me the life that I have through their sacrifices. My parents, up until last year, had never traveled outside of Australia unless it was for business or to see family. So last year, you know, I was able to take my parents. I paid for the majority of their trip to Thailand, to Singapore. We went to eat. We went on different day trips and all that sort of stuff. That's feels awesome. Way better. You know what I mean? That feels so much better than going out there, grinding my ass off for someone that doesn't even appreciate me. And at the end of the day, I'm struggling to pay my own bills, let alone to be able to send my parents on a holiday. And so I was just like,
really amazing. Yeah.
I was just like, it's insane. I'm like, that's crazy. I'm like, I would be happy. I'll be so happy to work on my own terms and make $50,000 a year than work for someone else and be their, you know, be their slave for 150. I was like, I would much rather. And so I started, you know, taking that mindset. And when I started going to entrepreneurship, my friends were like, you're crazy, man. Just go get a job. I'm like, what do you mean go get a job? I'm like, look at you guys. You guys aren't even happy with your life. You're doing drugs on the weekends.
No, and not healthy either.
You're not healthy, right?
And that affects your health. And that's what older people, when I am sitting at someone's deathbed, the last thing they tell you is, I wish I worked more.
Oh my
That's
God.
the last thing they say. The thing that they say is they want to spend more time with family. They wish they had loved harder, laughed harder, and spent more time with people. So if the millennials, we're getting this, the millennials are getting this. We know we are. But this is the end result of this. And this takes a toll on your body. The oxidative stress that you're getting in a sick, hostile work environment, that affects health 100%. So if people 100%. Don't think that their 9 to 5 has anything to do with disease, then they're kidding themselves, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, they say that the cortisol levels of the population is at an astronomical high on a Monday morning because everyone is dreading going to work. How crazy is that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, everyone's dreading it.
It's crazy.
It's
That's what
insane.
causes balding.
Yeah, I know. And we love our hair, right?
Guys.
I mean, stress is crazy. And like, people underestimate how much damage stress does to the human body. And so, by the way, guys, if you don't know, because a lot of the viewers I know jumping on right now, a lot of my friends, a lot of people on my Facebook, Erin is a gerontologist. So what she does is she works on the other end of the spectrum of health. So she works at the end of the spectrum where you have all the older aged people. Whereas me, I'm also a nutritionist and I'm also an entrepreneur in the younger space. So I do a lot with helping millennials see what the older people are seeing. Whereas Erin is seeing the older people, and now she can bring that back to you guys as well. But you know, a lot, and she just mentioned earlier, if you guys are watching this video on replay, go back a little bit and just see what Erin has told you about what these older people are thinking about on their deathbeds. And this is something that I wanted to share with a lot of these millennials that are going to be watching as well, is if you really, really think about it, on your deathbed, what is the last thing you're going to be thinking about? Is it going to be, oh my God, my friends are going to talk crap about me behind my back because I wanted to be an entrepreneur? Is it going to be, oh my God, I didn't work hard enough and get that $150,000 salary? Is it going to be, oh my God, I should have worked harder so I could have bought a Lamborghini when I was a little bit older? You're not going to be thinking about any of that. And I'm sure Erin can confirm, all the people on their deathbed, they're thinking about, did I love enough? You know, did I spend enough time with my loved ones? You know, did I go and enjoy life? Did I go and travel enough? Did I go and live my life? They're not thinking about all the stuff that we think, you know, that we enjoy so much. Did I get that Gucci belt? Did I go and get that LV bag? You know, did I go and go and have that $10 million wedding? You know, did I have all of that sort of stuff? We're not thinking about that. You know, so it's like, it's crazy. So when I decided to go into entrepreneurship, I was like, okay, what can I do to impact the most amount of people, to make the most amount of money, to be able to make the most amount of time, to have ultimately freedom to do what I want when I want? And so I understood at the end of it all, you need to build a system that allows you to have leverage to be able to go and live the life, because we have so much technology nowadays that is able to help us create money, to help us create, because money is just a resource, guys. It's just a tool. And if you're working for a tool, you're going to be a tool, right? If you work for a tool, you're going to be a tool. It's very simple. So, you know, money is a tool. And so why we work for money so hard is because we know that we can use this money to fuel other things. And so I want to send this message out for everyone that's watching as well, is if you really want to think about it, we are in a generation where we have the most opportunity ever known to man. We're able to literally make money without even getting up off our bed. And, you know, with your mobile phone, your smartphone, you know, your smartphone has more computing power than any computer that Bill Gates ever used to use. And it's like just off your smartphone. And most of us are sitting there scrolling Facebook, on Tinder, on Snapchat, on Instagram all day. Why don't you monetize that? I think that's as simple as it gets. We are in a generation where micro-entrepreneurship is on fire. You can make little bits of money from little bits of different entrepreneurial ventures anywhere. And so a lot of us are too scared of what other people think because we're stuck in that traditional mindset. And I knew that doing a 9-to-5 job, one, wouldn't give me satisfaction because I'd be working for someone who doesn't appreciate me. And if someone's going to tell me what I am worth, I know that that's not where I belong, because I can't dictate my own value. And if I can't dictate my own value to the marketplace, I don't think I'll be happy. It's as simple as that. And then because of that reason, I stepped out and I started to look for different pathways, different vehicles to allow me to really achieve what I want to achieve. And so now working hard towards financial freedom. You met my cousin as well in America. And, you know, these guys are doing crazy stuff out there. So it's insane. Like, entrepreneurship is the way to go if you want to learn about life, if you want to learn about the challenges of life, if you want to learn about the successes of life, if you really want to learn who you are as a human being, entrepreneurship is going to teach you the skills of life that allows you to win. I think that's as simple as it gets. You get to learn everything that you've ever wanted to learn just by associating yourself with a company, a product, a service, whatever it is. You are able to now take control of the direction your life is heading. And I think that is so cool. That's why I love entrepreneurship. I'm so passionate about it. You know, I'm so passionate about people actually being fulfilled in life and healthy as well, because fulfillment equals happiness.
Exactly. I was going to say that myself, is like, all of this will reflect in your spiritual and emotional health. And that is something that no one can give to you and no one can take away from you if you do that. And that's so incredibly important. So Alan, you won't be that old man when maybe I go visit you. That's like, let's hope not. Like regretting. You won't be regretting these things because you tried and you went for it. And even if we failure that's the key to success right there, is what we do with that. And so, but if you have worked yourself to death working a 9-to-5 and you find yourself with some chronic condition, you can regenerate, and you're never too old and it's never too late to do that. So for some of my listeners, that's really important for them to understand. For your millennial listeners, it's time to do it now and don't wait, because when you're young, you can take as much risk as you can. And
absolutely.
Even for older people, it's really, really important for them to understand, because we find now that people are not able to retire. So they're doing these things called encore jobs. So it's something where they can't really stop working because of Social Security and where we're at with that. And there's no pensions anymore. So a lot of people can't quit their jobs, but they can switch and do something else. So that's an awesome opportunity for them to be entrepreneurs, because they have all this incredible experience to use. But just so for some of your listeners know, if you do have a chronic condition, I do use all organic medicinal solutions, and I did create products for arthritis, chronic pain, muscle tension. The muscle tension one, the younger people really love a lot, because we are stressed at our jobs and our shoulders hurt, and that's where we hold our tension. So if anyone is listening and interested, to go to consciousagingsolutions.com. and check that out. If anyone has any questions, I always give free consultations to look over your vitamins and supplements and kind of talk you through that and see what you can do. And even I advocate with the doctor to help educate the doctor to help them kind of de-prescriptionize, or however you were saying it.
Yeah.
Because you need someone to advocate for you. It's really hard to advocate for yourself. I find that I'm a great advocate, but when it's for myself, sometimes it's not as easy. So it's nice to have that buffer even between your doctor. And remember, your doctor works for you. So if you want to try something and they don't want you to try it because of liability or whatever the issue is, then you want to have an advocate, and I'm happy to do that too. So I'm here for young people. I'm here for older people. We are all one, and this is really important that we're all working on this together, that we're all living our true light. Like Alan is doing what he loves and what he's passionate about, and I'm out here just like speaking the truth. And it's like, you just keep doing it and the money will come. When you follow your passion, the money will come. And it does take hard work and commitment and a day-to-day commitment to that. But that's really important, that it is never too late and you're never too old to make this change. And so hopefully this has been helpful for everyone and has been hopefully inspirational in some way. And if you go back to the beginning, there's a lot of information on vitamins and things like that we discussed. So Alan, if you have anything else, please share. I just want to thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And I hope we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I want to just add on top of what Erin just said there. Now, you know, life, it's never too late to make a change. Doesn't matter if you're 18, doesn't matter if you're 21, doesn't matter if you're 74, doesn't matter if you're 65. It's never too late to change. Whether it's your health, whether it's your finances, whether it's your mindset, you are never too old to start again. So, you know, life is full of challenges. Being broke is hard. Being rich is hard. Being unhealthy is hard. Being, you know, healthy is hard. Everything in life is hard. Nothing is easy. But it's really, what are you willing to give up to get the great? What are you willing to do so that you can live the best life you can live? And nothing's easy. Making money is not easy. And I had a great mentor of mine tell me this, is money, the actual physical note of money, is a certificate for the person that you helped. And so that's a great way to see it, is the more people you help, the more certificates that you get. Certificates of appreciation come in the form of money. So don't be chasing money. Rather, go out there chasing impact and value. And if you're able to go and impact and bring value to more people in your life, money will come. And I always say this, just because you're rich doesn't mean you're a person of great value. But if you become a person of great value, money will always follow a person with that value. And so, you know, don't be afraid to start again, guys. Failure is just a step ladder for you to get to success. And if you're scared of failure, then I'm sorry, there's nothing you can really do about that for you to actually progress, because everywhere you're going to go, you're going to fail. You're not going to hit KPIs at work. You're going to fail that. But why do you not see that as a learning experience as well? So everything in life has a learning experience. Both me and Erin, we decided to make a change. And with that decision, we decided to go and chase and pursue our vision, to pursue our dreams. And we knew that we wanted to bring a better life for ourselves and our family and the people around us. So we made that decision. So guys, I want you to make a decision today and ask yourself this question today, is what I am doing right now something that I want to do for the rest of my life? Is my health right now at the healthiest level it can be? And do I want to be who I am today forever? And if you don't want to be any of those, you have to make a change. You know, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is just pure craziness. I forgot who said that quote, but that's the reality. You know, you don't want to go out there and be crazy by trying to expect different things by doing the same thing. So guys, thank you so much for tuning in today. If you want to connect with me, my name's Alan Fu. You can find me at The Hustle Nation on Facebook. You can find me at Alan Fu on Facebook. You can find me anywhere. And my website's www.teamhustlenation.com. We talk all things about health and entrepreneurship. So if you're ever looking at getting into health or entrepreneurship, please feel free to shoot me a message. And like Erin said, if you're looking at the best quality products and stuff, feel free to check out her website as well. I'm an advocate for my own nutritional supplements as well. We manufacture at pharmaceutical grade. And so I know exactly what goes into my products. And again, once again, it's very, very important for you to understand that not all supplements and vitamins and stuff on the market is the same. Understand that people out there are trying to just market to you, not actually provide you with real quality science and goods. Look for the people who truly care about you. Ask them for advice instead of the pharmacy rep inside of the pharmacy. And hopefully that, helps you guys a lot. And have a great day, guys. All the way from here in Australia. Have a great day. All right. We'll see you guys soon.
Thanks so much, Alan. We'll see you later. Thanks so much.
Pleasure.